Hello, everyone. It's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with a little bit of a late edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. Today is Tuesday, where normally I record on Sundays, but the reason why this is late has a lot to do with this posting this week. So let's get to it. So I've talked before about endurance, and I've talked about, not giving up. But here's the thing. This is where it kind of plays in. On Sunday, I ran the Chicago Marathon. I managed to beat the odds and made it into their lottery, which was really exciting. And so I've spent the months between getting approved and the actual marathon with training and focusing on me and my health, making sure I was doing everything right. The week before the marathon, I was hydrating really well, because the more you're hydrating, the more you're taking the nutrients into your body, the less you need during the marathon, which can make all the difference between making it through to the end and having to visit a very not so pleasant outhouse. And that's just I'm not going to do that. So I spent a lot of time getting myself prepared mentally and physically, because, like I've talked about before, running, especially in long distance running, is a lot more mental sometimes than it is physical. But I worked really hard. I worked really smart, because it's not just working hard, it's also working smart, taking care of my body, making sure that I have enough rest, enough fluids, all that good stuff. Well, I did that, and I trained for a specific pace, and I found that pace, and it felt really great. And the marathon comes, and I go to Chicago, which was my first time being there. It was an amazing city. And I was ready. I was so ready for this. Everything was coming out exactly the way I needed it to be. I was doing great, made it through the half, almost right up to the half. So that would have been 13.1 miles, when all of a sudden I started to feel this tightness in my left thigh, and the tightness kind of got worse. And then there was pain, and I knew, oh, it's a cramp. So I tried what I could to work the cramp out, but it was not going to do it. This cramp said, hi, here I am. I'm not going anywhere. So what do? At that point, I was halfway, making it through, doing my best, power walking when I had to, jogging when I could. And the whole time I began to think, as the miles clicked forward, this is just not going to work. I'm not going to make my time. So I would keep going, and I would stay in that pace range, and it just kept falling. I just kept falling. And then I saw a pacer go by, and pacers are people that are designated to run at a certain endurance and pace. And with each time, it means I'm going to cross that finish line later than I wanted to. And so I kind of had a little bit of that mental dilemma. The mind comes in. I took notes this time. My mind comes in, and it starts to say, you know what, this is not working. You're in pain. You're not injured, but definitely not comfortable either. And I began to think, can I finish this marathon? Can I really do it? And I thought, you know what? I worked too long, too hard. Okay, I'm not going to make my under 5-hour mark. Disappointment. But you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to get there. And I, work through it. I, did a lot of in self and self-reflection. I thought about people in my life, and I thought about where I'm heading in life with my practice, with my vlogs here. And I thought about all the support that I've been getting from certain platforms that I'm just so grateful for. One of my platforms, I have over 800 views of my videos, and that means so much to me. So thank you to those who have been following. And it just goes to show endurance Endurance. Am I, at 1 million likes? No, but I'm moving in the right direction. And the same thing with this marathon. I could have stopped. Nobody's keeping tabs except me. And I've talked about that before. But you know what? Isn't it so much in life? Endurance often gets connected to the sports world, and it does. It has everything to do with it. But endurance in life is equally important. And if you don't have life endurance, then your ability to overcome things that come your way that are unpleasant and hard are very difficult to deal with. So for everything that happens in your life where you're going, this, why me? What is this? And why do I have to deal with this? You are building life endurance. And life endurance is long lasting. Trust me on that. Life endurance is long lasting. It's worth repeating. And the thing is that you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what's coming around that corner, just like me, coming around that next corner and going, oh, it's a hill and I have a leg cramp and this is not going to work. But you know what? I did it. I finished the Chicago Marathon. I finished my 5th marathon. So that endurance is going to be put away in my pocket of collection and apply that endurance to other things in life. So the thing is, what is your threshold of endurance in life? What is it? What is it that takes you up and over that next hill that you didn't think was possible as you approached it? Do you see that? Do you see what I'm saying? It's understanding that with every hardship you encounter and you hit head on and you take it over, you are building an endurance that's going to help you later on. And isn't that a wonderful thing? We sometimes think that you can't do it. I can't do it. It's too hard. I can't get through it. Yeah, it's going to happen. And if you catch yourself thinking that, it's going to be hard. But if you stop and think about, what have you achieved? Where has this moment in time taken you? Then you know what? It's not so bad. And yes, you can get through it. You may need to rely on people that you love and care about, or friends, or a great coach, or me. I'm out there for you. The thing is getting through it is what matters. So you know what? Build that life endurance, just like an athlete will build their physical endurance. Get out there. Go after the hard stuff. Because you know what? You may find that you can achieve something far more when you look at life as a marathon. They always say life is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's true. It really is. 26.2 miles of life is just as difficult as 26.2 miles per hour, or miles per hour. Wouldn't that be nice? Miles to achieve. Now, there were people who made world records this past weekend, and I am so in awe of them. Someone crossed that finish line in just a little over 2 hours. 2 hours, 26.2 miles. They built an endurance. You, my friends, can build an endurance in your life, and in your relationships, in your sport of choice, in anything you set out to do. You can build the endurance. So with that, my friends, I'm going to leave you with that thought. Remember that life is just as much as a mental marathon as a physical marathon of 26.2 miles. And you know what? If I can achieve 5 of them, I know that you can achieve the things that come through in your life. And if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to talk about, put them in the comments. I absolutely read them. Thank you to my followers. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for those of you who are watching. I am beyond grateful, and it's helping me to build endurance to keep going. So you have a fantastic week. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Remember, we don't know what they are going through right now. People can be going through a lot as they're building endurance in their life. And if you can help them to make that endurance just a little bit easier, go ahead and do it. It's good for you, it's good for them. This is Dr. Stacey Betancourt with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacey, and I'll see you in just a few days. Take care.